Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. I am 5150 and this is Minecraft. Welcome to another thrill-packed episode of 5150 Plays Minecraft. So let's get started, shall we? We are here in the logistics area. You'll notice this structure wasn't here before, so I built it. And I tore down the old ME system, the small one that I built out there, and I put it back up in here with 5 more drive bays. We can manufacture and fit more disks as we need to. And these blocks here are essentially batteries. They store the power that the ME system uses so that in case we have an interruption in the power from the power area, we won't immediately lose connectivity with the ME system. There's a lot of stuff that this does, and it all requires power. So you've got to keep the power going, and this helps to buffer. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up some automated materials processing. Let me grab a couple of iron ore. Now over here we have a multiple floor structure here. Here are 2 gateways to the upper floors. This one is the next floor up where we have pulverizers. Now pulverizers are really, really cool animals. Let me first remove that, because they will take 1 ore and give you 2 pulverized versions of that ore. And each of those pulverized versions of that ore will melt into 1 ingot. So I'm going to go to the next floor up where we have our furnaces, and put that in, and I will try to catch these before the ME system does. Got 1. Okay, got them both. Okay, so now from 1 iron ore, we got 2 iron ingots. Now if I just put an iron ore in the furnace, I get, oops, I missed it. I get 1 iron ore. And so in here we'll have 1 more iron ingot than we used to have. We used to have 3, now we have 4. Now we have 6. Yay. Okay. So now that has been established, the next thing we want to do is we want to automate this process, and I've got some of it set up here. This is a crystal chest. I like to use the crystal chests because it's easier to see what's inside them, or at least get an idea of what's inside them. I then used a piece of item duct to connect to this little monster right here. It's from the Applied Energistics 2 mod, and it's a P2P tunnel. And what this does is this gives you a direct connection to any other of these devices that you have set to the same frequency. And you do that with a memory card. You do that by shift, right-click on the P2P interface that you want to connect. Now this particular side that I'm setting up now is for the pulverizers. So I'll go to the pulverizer room and right-click on this one, and then it loads the settings. All of these others have been set. so I don't need to redo them. And I need to fix this. I removed the import bus and then didn't replace it. Now, one more thing that needs to be done with these pulverizers is if you go into the configuration and choose the orange color, it will remove anything placed in these two boxes. What you get in the top box here is the pulverized version of what goes in the blue box. Here, sometimes you get byproducts. There's a certain percentage of time for certain ores where you'll get specific byproducts. For example, iron ore, I think it's 1 out of 5 or 7, gives you a ferrous powder or a pulverized ferrous. And that will end up here in this box. And so when we set this to orange, both of these boxes will empty into the ME system. And all of these have already been set. So we're ready to go. So, say if I want to pulverize some iron ore, I simply put it in there, and it disappears and goes into the system. Now, if we watch for a moment, we can see the pulverized iron, the numbers are increasing. Okay, so now I want to be able to take this pulverized iron ore and put it into this chest and have it get smelted into ingots. So here's how I'm going to do it. I need some planks. Okay, here's how we'll do it. I'll go ahead and put that there. There. Now, you'll notice the item duct didn't connect here like it did here. There's a couple of things we need to do before it'll do that. One of which is to set this as an item mover. Now, oddly enough, the way you do that is you swing a hopper at it. I know that sounds weird. I didn't write the mod. So you right click it with a hopper in your hand, and then it turns that dark gray color. Now all we need to do is to connect this with the ones upstairs, and we should be good to go. So I'm going to shift, right click to save the settings to the memory card. And then I'm going to go to the level where these are, the furnaces, and I'm going to manually set, or not exactly manually, but I'm going to set all of these furnaces. You can hear the pulverizers working downstairs. Okay, so I'm going to set all of these furnaces, the input on them to come out of that box or to go through this P2P tunnel. Now let me take a moment to show you how I've set up these furnaces. These are standard vanilla furnaces, 8 blocks of cobblestone to make them. So what we do is the top will end up dumping into this box, the materials to be smelted. This side, the left-hand side, will always empty into the fuel area. And then the bottom is how you will extract from the product box. This will always go out the bottom. So you put an import bus at the bottom to catch the items that have been processed, the ingots. You put a export bus here, and yeah. Okay, and I need to set that. We're going to set that to coal. There we go. Now we can open this up and notice that coal is in fact being placed in here, as well as all of the others. They've already all been set. So now let's go down to the first floor again. And look, see, this item duct has connected with the P2P interface so that now we can take, let's see how much iron dust we've got. We've got 96 iron dust. Well, let's take 64 of it. All 74. And let's put it in there. Now, it's not going from the chest into here because we don't have a servo to remove it from the chest. There we go. Okay. So now that all went into the system. Now let's take a look at our iron ingots. And those are starting to increase now as they come out of the furnaces upstairs. So now I have a way to process. I can pulverize and I can smelt without leaving this area right here, and I kind of like that. Now this here, this export bus is here in case you want to pulverize all of something. Say, for example, I have no use for iron ore, but I have a lot of use for pulverized iron. So I can set that there, and this export bus will pull every bit of iron ore out of the system and send it to the pulverizers. It'll take all of it. Okay, and it'll happen a little quicker. There we go. See, now we can open this chest and see that it's dumping in ore as quickly as it can. Now, once all of the pulverizers upstairs get full, this chest will begin filling up. And then our numbers of pulverized iron are going up. Let's see what's happening with iron now. Okay, so we have no more iron ore in the system. We have plenty of pulverized iron. What we need to do is we need to get that pulverized iron to go into this chest the same way we have iron ore going into this chest. So I'll simply put an export bus here. Little cable. Set the export bus for iron powder or pulverized iron. And maybe get some speed upgrades. There. Okay, now let's see what's happening with the iron in the system. Okay, so all of the pulverized iron has been pulled out of the ME system and placed in that chest. And it's all going to go up to the furnaces, and our iron ingot count is going to increase. Now let's say, for example, I wanted to do the same with copper. Easy enough. Okay. There's no more iron ore coming in, so I can remove that. See, now it's going to start loading in copper. And copper is going to start to get processed as well. So I'll take a piece of pulverized copper, put it in this hopper, or in this chest. Set this export bus with it. Jeez, I'm having a rough time of it today, I guess. And now let's see what's happening with our copper. Okay, all of the ore is in the system. And the pulverized copper should be waiting its turn to make it into the furnaces now. Let's go up there and see how it's going. Okay, here are the pulverizers. Let's see what they're working on. That's working on iron. Most of these are working on iron right now. Yep, most of them are working on iron. See? Okay then. Well, that is how to automate ore processing using applied energistics, thermal expansion for the pulverizers, and vanilla Minecraft for the furnaces. And I can access my pulverizers through this chest and my furnaces through this chest. Well, I think we're going to call this an episode and wrap it up about here. So, everyone be safe and stay healthy. 5150 out.